Well, usually it's a canopy of color across the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic this time of year, but some storms have blown through the region. So the past 2 weeks, some areas have seen the foliage ripped, off all the leaves.
Yeah, it's taken the canopy of color, and unfortunately. Before the leaves start littering your landscaping get too out of control, let's bring in National Home Improvement expert Danny Lipford to show us the best and safest ways to clean them up. Good morning, Danny. Let's talk a little bit about leaf blowers, maybe. They make some pretty strong ones out there. Is that the best way, or do you have other suggestions?
Well, I'll tell you what, one of the things I'm about to tackle here on my house before the rain hits here a little bit later today is to get all of the debris off of my roof. And it's so important to be very careful. This is a pretty steep roof. I've been on it a lot, so I know exactly how to navigate up here. But the first part that I'll do is take care of everything up high. Behind the chimney particularly, you got to always pay attention to that, because if those leaves get on the shingles and start matting together and deteriorating, they'll stick to the shingles, and before you know it, you have a leak there. Same way with the gutters. You see I have a job ahead of me here in getting rid of all of the leaves here. But when you're doing the guttering cleaning, make sure you remember the downspout. A lot of times you'll need to take a water hose and put it down in the downspout to blast out all of those leaves. And also, when the gutters are nice and clean, use that as an opportunity to really look at any of the joints and seams and use a butyl rubber caulk in order to seal everything up before the rain hits.
And what is your little shovel there, your handheld shovel, used for?
Yeah, this works pretty well to be able to reach down in. Definitely use gloves. There's so many little sharp angles here that you can really hurt yourself quite a bit. So being able to do this, but I'll tell you another thing. Some people take this and they hold a bag and they put it in a bag like that. Not me. I throw it right on the ground because I'm going to rake and I'm going to leaf blow that anyway. And it's a lot safer when you're up on a ladder and doing that. You just want to make sure that when you're setting up the ladder that you're setting it up properly. Here I kind of have a unique situation that this retaining wall allows me pretty close access to this part of it. But that ladder and working it safely is so important.
So two things, Danny. Number one, you want to make sure you don't blow that leaf blower too hard underneath the shingles, right? And number two, where do you stand with the leaf guards, those things that kind of protect your gutters from getting leaves in the first place?
Well, there's so many of them out there, and some work really well in Arizona, and some work terrible in a place like Mobile, Alabama, where we get so much rain. So you have to find the right one. There's one particular one that looks like a big pipe cleaner. It's called Gutter Brush, and I'm about to install it later today as soon as I get all of this clean, and that way the debris washes over it, and you're not having things clogged up like I have right now, because these trees, unbelievable how many leaves will fall, and they fall directly in the gutter.
Do you do this all at one time, or do you think that you should do this a little bit at a time over the season?
Good question.
Well, definitely keep up with it, because when it gets really full, that's when the problems occur. Because, when you have fasteners that are fastening this to your fascia board. So if you don't go ahead and clean them on a regular basis, then water will dam up in there. It feeds into the fascia board, into the soffit, and I've seen a lot of situations where the actual beams that you have around porches and above windows and doors completely rot out, and you never know it until something caves in on the wall. So that's why it's so important to keep up with it. So I would say 4 times a year is a good schedule for cleaning all of your gutters.
All right, Danny Lipford,
Good
home
stuff,
improvement expert. We appreciate you joining us this morning.
And if you don't feel safe on a ladder, guys, hire somebody to do that for you. All right.